Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're all doing wonderfully well. What update do I have this week? It's been a really, really busy and tiring week this week. I'm seeing so many clients at the moment, and I'm currently in between. No, actually, I've just done client number two. I had to think then. Um, I've done two clients today, one this morning, one this afternoon, and I'm quickly recording this video before I jump in the bath. So that's my plans for the rest of the day. But I wanted to take a little bit of time today to talk in more detail about how entity release works because I'm trying to raise awareness regarding entity release and that it's very, very important, that it's actually probably the single most important thing that most humans need to look into regarding their health and well-being. But I am aware that most people don't really have any clue regarding how this can even be a thing. And I totally understand that. So I want to shine a bit more light, if you will, on that today so that people understand it in a deeper way. Now, for anybody that's followed me for the past 5 years on YouTube, I've been on YouTube for about 5 years. Might actually be longer than that now. Could be 6 years. Um, and when I first started, I just wanted to share information about ascension, the wave, moving to 5D, moving to the new Earth, the splitting of the density from the light, etc., etc. And then I wanted to raise awareness of how all of this is going to occur. So we spoke to all of the different parts of the universe that play a role in the ascension of Earth and how that's going to occur. So we spoke to the Crystal Kingdom, we spoke to Gaia itself, we spoke to the Tree Kingdom, we spoke to Alcyone, we spoke to Source, we spoke to Nibiru. So we spoke to all of the different moving parts that are divinely perfect, that move and shift in order for us to be able to ascend. And then eventually my work led me fully into focusing on entity release. Now, as an individual, I have personally tried my level best to avoid this for many years because as many people understand, entity release is not for the faint-hearted. It is not an easy job. The money that we charge to do this, we absolutely deserve every single penny and then some. The amount of energy and will that I place into healing my clients and also healing the entities that have been attached to their bodies and causing them issues is just no human words can describe how involved this work is. You put all of yourself into it. It's takes a lot of your own energy because a lot of these entities and dark energies are very, very argumentative. They're very toxic. They are the energies and the entities that are on the lower frequency end of the spectrum. This is what I want to talk to you guys about today, to try and help you to understand in a deeper way how all of this stuff works. Because as I'm talking you through this, I'm hoping you're going to look at one of these little scenarios that I'm talking you through that I encounter with my clients every week. And I'm hoping you're going to think to yourself, well, that what she's saying right now describes me to a T. And that's the energy that I'm lacking. And that's also the part of my body that hurts. Oh, so she's telling me that it's actually the red energy that I need. I need red. And the frequency of red is 396 hertz. I can't show you the red glasses. I know everybody loved those glasses. I can't show you the red glasses because me being me, already I've given them away to somebody who's got a root issue, who needs to wear them and repair their root. So I can't even show you the red glasses, but I'll use my Soma Energetics tuning forks instead. I'll use those instead of glasses this week. So you're going to have to forgive the rudimentary drawing that I'm about to show you, because it's very rough. I created this as a teaching tool, actually, to use for my students, but I want to use it with you guys today to try and breathe a little bit more life into entity release for everybody, so you understand what it's all about. So, first and foremost, human beings can only see 40% of the visible spectrum. 40%. So we've got 20% down here that humans can't see, and we've got 40% up here that humans can't see. Bearing in mind, this is just what we currently know about. So I'll just leave that little mic drop there, if you will. This spectrum that I want to talk to you about is the stuff that we scientifically, and I use that term very loosely, scientifically know about. So in the spectrum, the visible spectrum, you've got what humans can see, this 40% here. Red, and I'm not talking about black because black isn't a color. Red is the lowest frequency that the human eye can see, and it is the longest frequency wave because color corresponds to a frequency. So the color red is the lowest frequency and it's the longest wave. Moving all the way up through the spectrum, and we go into violet and into white. Violet and into white is the highest frequency that the human eye can see, and it is the fastest, highest vibration. So it's the fastest vibration and it's the highest frequency. Red is the lowest frequency and the slowest vibration. Now, below red, the next one over that we've got is infrared. Now, infrared is a lower frequency than the human eye can see well. So I'm just going to put this down for a minute and talk a little bit about infrared. Oh, the camera's adjusting. I've had to use an actual, I don't know what this thing is called. My husband got it for me. I've had to use like a camera that you stick onto your, is it a webcam? I don't know. I'm not very techie. I've had to use this because they took down the camera that actually is attached to my actual laptop. They took it down. So I'm having to use a webcam that plugs in to bypass that. Anyway, so infrared, let's think about infrared. Cats, the feline, can see into the spectrum of infrared. They do most of their hunting at night. Infrared allows you to see in the dark. So isn't that interesting right there when we think about it? Soldiers wear infrared goggles to be able to see in the dark. And obviously this helps them with night warfare, but it also helps them to see beings that potentially we cannot see with the naked human eye. And you will see lots of videos on the internet showing you soldiers fighting with beings underground. And these soldiers are wearing infrared goggles and you can see the beings through the infrared goggles. Also as well, I would draw to the attention of everybody that the Vatican owns one of the biggest infrared telescopes on the planet. And if infrared were not an issue to our world, and if it was something that we don't need to even think about, why would the Vatican need a telescope that's the largest in the world, that's infrared? And all of these people that are viewing Nibiru at the moment in the southern hemisphere are viewing it through an infrared telescope. It's a different frequency. That's why when you see these videos on the internet, and I'm not talking about the deep state shills who are putting just ridiculous pictures up that are ridiculous cloud shapes and stuff that is not Nibiru. I'm talking about actual footage of the planets and Nibiru itself. That's why when you look at this stuff through an infrared camera, Nibiru always shows up as that really, really deep red that's beyond red. Through an infrared camera, that's what it looks like. And it's got the wings coming out either side. Red in the middle, wings coming out either side. Now, I believe that these beings that we take off people during entity release, I'm trying to find an angle that's going to work. So we've got infrared down here. Infrared is a lower frequency wave than red, which is the lowest frequency that we can see. And it's a lower vibration. So it's a longer wave and a lower vibration than red. This is how I believe, and this is my hypothesis as somebody who is experienced in this arena and who has studied the physics of light. And who is a clinical hypnotherapist and psychotherapist who's worked with thousands of people and also personally spoken to thousands of entities and clients who have suffered at the hands of these entities. Totally forgot my train of thought now because I've just laboured the point, whacked it in a little bit too hard. I think I was talking about colour. This is how I believe they get in. So, human beings are white light fractalized out into these colours. Each of our chakras, the root is our red, this one. The orange, our sacral, is this one. The yellow, our solar plexus, is this band. The green, our heart, is this band. The blue, our throat, is this band. We've got the indigo, that is the third eye, and many people see purple in the third eye. I actually do see purple in the third eye, and I see white at the crown. But there's your purple, and then we've obviously got white as well. White at the crown. And there's no judgment there. It doesn't matter what you see. Some people see indigo at the third eye. Some people say purple. Some people see violet at the crown. Some people say white. Depends upon how you see, if you can see, and it depends upon which particular spiritual teachings you follow. But we are white light essentially fractalized out into these different colors. Each of these colors is responsible for delivering the energy of that ray to our body and being. And all of these energy rays together, when you use them together in harmony, allow you to connect through white light up through the crown to source and through the root down to Gaia, to Mother Earth, and to be a conduit of light, to channel source light down through us as the human into the planet. That's what we're here for. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But because this became a parasitical realm, and because these darker energies came in, they started whispering into the minds of men, and men, or man and woman, started to distort in their colours. Instead of being a beautiful palette of rainbow colours that are all frequency specific to that particular colour, these colours started to get dirty. You know, take somebody's true root energy away by causing wars between different beings. That's going to dirty this root and make it darker. And it's just like putting a blob of black paint into the red and mixing it around. It becomes a lower frequency, doesn't it? We know that we are connected. Everything is connected. So if we drop our frequency in such a way whereby we start to vibrate more towards this band of energy, which is infrared, instead of our root being over here. You can start to see how these guys can then attach to that darkened and pain-filled light, and they exist off of it. So they consume light because of their polarization, service to self, and we emit light, or most of us do, because of our polarization. And so what we end up doing through all of our pain and traumas, all of our colors become dark, blackened and dirty, full of pain. And then when they begin to vibrate lower because they're not the true color anymore, that's how these parasites who exist, but we can't see them with our human eyes because they are simply a lower frequency than the human eye can perceive. That's how they've got us. They have got us hook, line, and sinker in this mess because they exist in a frequency that the human eye cannot perceive, because we can only perceive this band, the visible spectrum here. We cannot perceive what's going on down here with infrared, radio waves, microwaves, and all of those kinds of lower frequency wave. What about somebody that has a sexual trauma? So their orange ray, because the orange ray is always connected to the sacral, and sexual trauma. What if their orange becomes darkened, dirty, with pain because of sexual trauma? And this impacts the root because they don't feel safe anymore. So the root and the sacral become darker, start to vibrate lower. These entities attach, they get in, and then they can slowly but surely move throughout the other colors. What about somebody that's brutalized by an overbearing parent, and in a cruel way, physically and emotionally? This person has their self-esteem dirtied, completely and utterly impacted. This affects their root because their parent is supposed to be their stability. And then this starts to vibrate lower, and then these things can get in, and so on and so forth. Now, there's a lot of detail that I go into on this type of stuff if you become a student with me, and I explain it in great detail how all of this stuff works. But basically, that's a brief little snapshot for you guys to think about how entity release works. These guys exist down here in a lower frequency wave, in a lower bandwidth of light that we cannot see with our eyes. That's why cats were so revered by the ancient Egyptians, because cats have the ability to see down into the lower frequencies, which is infrared, and also up into the higher frequencies, into ultraviolet as well. So a cat can react if you have a demon in your house. It can also react if you have a fairy in your house. And these, in my opinion, these higher frequency beings like fairies, dragons, all unicorns, so on and so forth, these beings that exist in myth and legend, they don't exist in myth and legend. They exist in this band of light. That is a higher frequency band of light than the human eye can perceive. At a certain point before, all of our chakras were parasited upon by these guys further down. When we could blend all of our colors into white light, it allowed us to be higher frequency up here in this band so that we could see these beings. That's essentially what I believe ascension is. I believe ascension is all of us as humans healing our pain-filled light through all of the traumas that you have sustained in this crazy lifetime, all of the times that you had shock, that you lost finances, that you lost loved ones, all of the times that you were traumatized sexually, all of the times where you were made to feel less than, all of the grief that you felt, all of the love that you've lost, or that you felt and wasn't reciprocated, all of the times where your voice was taken away from you, all of the times when you were shamed for your gifts, and all of the times you were told, don't be silly, nothing else exists. This is it. And if you're not good here, then you're going to go to hell. If we merge all of these together, once they are pain free, so once we have got each of these energy bands back to the true frequency that they should be, and we do that through, this is a fantastic medium to do it, through soul center healing hypnosis, we ascertain which energy centers have become impacted through trauma. We remove the entities that have managed to attach and siphon off your light. We then redirect these bands of light back out of their parasitical dimension into your physical body so that your own physical body benefits from all of these rays of light. That's the way you're supposed to be. If you have all of this energy in your body, you should not be experiencing physical symptoms. You should not be experiencing lethargy. You should not be experiencing sadness. You should not be experiencing a feeling of disconnection, and so on and so forth. So we clean and clear all of these colors of your energy body. We replug your energy back into you, having taken the entities away. So now you're not connected to these lower frequency band anymore. Now, when you're healed, you can merge all of these colors together and you can vibrate higher. And when you vibrate higher, the new, healed, awakened human that vibrates higher connects at this end of the scale, which is moving towards the gamma energy, which is ascension. So what all of us have to do as humans is essentially, I don't want to say that because it's very coarse, so I'm not going to say it, but it's essentially we've got to heal ourselves. We've got to heal each of these areas within ourselves that have been harmed, that have been disrespected, that have been taken against our will, that have been brutalized, that have been shocked, that have been traumatized. And as we take that dark energy, which belongs to these guys down here, as we take that dark energy out of our palette of colors, we can then merge those healed energy centers as a column of light and move, sidestep into this area of frequency, which is ascension and 5D, in my opinion. And I wanted you to see this particular diagram today so that you can begin to think about life through that lens, if you like. There is so much more going on here than we can begin to possibly understand. But it's through our energy body that these guys have gained access to us. So the way we get rid of them is to heal ourselves, to heal our energy body, to unplug these guys and also help them to cross back over to the light. And in so doing, we then gain access to our energy again. And then we can begin to vibrate higher. So this is the work that I've been given to do by Source. I initially, all those years ago, when I first started this journey, thought that I would be talking constantly about ascension. And that's what I want to be talking about. I want to be talking about high frequency topics. I want to be talking about ascension. I want to be talking about New Earth. I want to be living on New Earth more than I can physically begin to express in words. But until that occurs, I have to help people to heal, because the only way we can vibrate higher is if we release the density that we have been carrying. And many people are not even aware of the density that they have been carrying. Now, I always try in my YouTube videos to give a bit of a shout out to something in every video that people can get, that is not too expensive, that they can use to help them on their path of healing. And I have been chatting recently to David and Tim from Soma Energetics, and I know JCK has had David on her show before, and that's how I have become aware of them, and I am using their fantastic tuning forks for healing now. And I wanted to show these to you guys. So obviously we've been talking about color and frequency and how color and frequency can aid in the process of healing. And these are the tuning forks that Soma Energetics have created. And they're fabulous because obviously you've got one for every chakra color. And so when you're doing your healing, either for yourself or if you've got clients that you're doing healing work with, when you want to heal a particular chakra, if you feel that there is a blockage in that area, and obviously you are going to have to take entities off before you do this, otherwise it doesn't matter how much work you do, all of that energy is just going to go straight into the entity that's attached. But once you've taken your entities off, if you use these tuning forks, they will help direct the positive frequency, the positive sound frequency, and the positive color frequency of that particular energy center, and it will help to bring about healing and stability and balance in that particular area of the body. I'm going to place a link underneath this YouTube video for Soma Energetics that will give everybody that watches this video 10% off the products that those guys sell. So if anybody is interested in buying themselves those tuning forks, you can get them on through this link that I will place at the bottom of this video. But I'm going to finish off today because I don't want to keep you guys too long, and I'm aware that some of my videos do tend to go on a little bit. I'm going to finish off today with this final thought. Check in with your own energy. Check in with how you're feeling. Because if you've been feeling sad, and I know many people are at the moment, myself included, if you've been feeling sad, then that's your orange energy center. It's your sacral. It's your sacral that needs some help. It's your sacral that needs a boost. If you feel like you lack confidence, then that's your solar plexus. You need to work with yellow. If you feel like you can't speak up, you just lack confidence regarding your voice, then you need to work with blue, and so on and so forth. But now is the time, if you are on the path to ascension, to get yourself in the best physical and energetic shape as possible. We are not just a physical body. We are so much more than that. That's how they've kept us in the dark. Because if we were to understand the role of energy and how energy works, then entity release and energy parasites would be so much easier for people to understand. But in a nutshell, we live in a parasitical world. Dark energy was let in a long time ago that shouldn't be here. That's what caused the fall in consciousness. And since then, these parasitical energies, which exist in a lower part of the spectrum to us, in a longer frequency wave and a lower frequency, in a much longer frequency wave and lower frequency, those guys have been attaching to our energy centers, to our energy, through our traumas and our pain. And once our energy centers are full of pain through our traumas, that creates a magnetic resonance, if you like, for these beings that also exist in that resonance of pain and low frequency. They attach to our energy centers, and then that's it. It doesn't matter how much work you do to try and stabilize in that particular area of your energy. Won't make any difference until you get that parasite off. all of the work that you try to do to stabilize, all of that energy will go straight into the parasite. You've got to get the parasite off that is feeding on your light. Then you've got to heal your energy body. Have all of your energy body plugged back into your physical body. And when that occurs, it is your physical body that will benefit. All of the people that have back issues, lower back issues, sciatica, issues in the hips, in the thighs, in the knees, in the ankles, you've all got a root parasite. That's what is causing your physical issues in those areas of the body. You need that parasite taken off. You need your root energy plugging fully back into your physical body. And then your issues in your lower back, your hips, your legs, your ankles, your knees will disappear. Those of you that have issues in the womb, maybe it's infertility, maybe it's issues in the intestines, you guys will have a sacral parasite. You need that taken off, and you need your orange energy plugging back into your body. Then the physical issues will go away. Those of you that have issues around being sick, feeling sick due to stress, bulimia, anorexia, porn addiction, any kind of alcohol or drug addiction, you guys have all got a solar plexus parasite that needs to be taken off. Those of you that have issues with the throat, maybe it's thyroid issue, or maybe it's an issue with your teeth or your gums or your tongue or your neck, you guys have got a parasite in the throat. Those of you that have really intense migraines, or headaches, or feel blocked in the third eye, you can't connect to anything, you can't use your imagination because you don't have one. You guys have got a third eye parasite. Those that feel like they can't connect to source, that feel like they're blocked in some way, that can't connect to all that is, you've got something in your crown, or maybe your soul star, and so on and so forth. We need to deflee ourselves from these parasites that have gradually and slowly taken over the humans of our world. And if we unplug all of these parasites from our colour, from our rainbow, which is sustaining them, their parasitical world will cease to exist where we are, because they won't have anything to feed off of. We are currently the reason that their world exists where we are, because they have to have fuel to sustain it, and we are that fuel. So the more people that we can do entity release on, the more people that we can unplug from this parasitical realm and world, the better this world is going to be. Because the more humans that are completely in their power, that are shining like the colours of the rainbow, those are the humans that you want to be around, not the ones that have got every single energy centre plugged into the Matrix. That is what the film The Matrix is about. Is anybody having a penny drop moment right now? You know, all of the plugs that you see going down these people's spines, and I know they make out it's an AI world, but they are feeding off of the energy of the chakras, the light, the colour. We've got to take our power back. We've got to take our colour back. We've got to take our energy body back so that our physical body can respond to the energetic changes. We've got to heal our traumas. And once we've done that, we've got to turn around and help other people to do it too. And that's the fastest and quickest way that all of us are going to get ready for what is about to occur. I'll leave you with that thought, and I'm going to go and get into a piping hot steaming bath now. I don't know if anybody else has to have a bath like me. I have to have mine so hot that every inch of my body that I lower into it, I squeal. Two reasons for that. Number one, it helps me to release all of the energy that I've collected off of clients. But number two, it stops my kids from trying to nick my bath because they won't come in it if it's too hot. So I'm just trying to eke out as much time as possible in the bath before I have to give it up. I hope all of you are doing wonderfully well. And I'll catch up with you all next week. Take care, everybody. Till the next time I see you guys, make sure you keep vibrating high.